Hello rovers! Now, living the simple life without running water presents problems for the would-be gardener. Well, today it's all about the humble rain barrel. And we've learned from Environment Canada that we're supposed to get thunder showers this evening, so I better crack on. So what we're going to do is install this little tap in the rain barrel. So first off, I've made a little mark that's 3 inches up from the bottom, and we're going to drill a hole at that point. So why did I put it in 3 inches up from the bottom? Well, the reason is because you'll get a certain amount of sediment and dirt right in the bottom, so that's one reason. But the second reason is we don't want to install our tap like that, because when we put the hose on, the hose will kink as there won't be enough space between the bottom of the barrel and the ground. So we're going to install the tap on its side. It won't affect flow at all, and it'll allow us to put a hose onto the end of the tap and run it out to where it's more used to us. All right, so the tap is a pretty standard tap. You'll be able to get this in a hardware store, but this kit that I bought many years ago comes with 2 washers and 2 gaskets and a nut. So what you do is you put one of these on, then you put the gasket on, and then you install it in the hole, and then you put another gasket on and the final ring and tighten it all together with this nut, and that'll make it waterproof. Okay, so the first thing is we have to drill a hole, and we want the hole a little bit bigger than the tap itself. The tap itself is 1 1/16 inches. Now, you probably don't have a bit that big, so I have a 1-inch bit. That's what we'll start with, and then we'll use a file to make the hole bigger. Okay, there we go. The hole is through, but it's way too small for the fitting. So now we're going to get a file and clean it out. Okay, so I have the tap, and you can see that it doesn't really fit. Well, actually it does. You can screw it right in, but that's not what we want, because that will leak. So the best thing to do is to make this hole so this fits in without any problem whatsoever. And to do that, we're just going to make it a little bit bigger. So now let's just check. Okay, so we have a nice loose fit. We have approximately a 1/16 all the way around. So if you have one of these kits and you have all these fittings, that's great. That'll fit nicely. If you don't have one of these kits, you're still going to be all right, because all you need to do is get yourself a little bit of sheet metal, drill a hole so it's fairly tight on this, and then get yourself some neoprene for a washer, and you'll be fine. It'll give you the very same effect as this right here. So at this point, you want to put some Teflon tape just to make sure that we're not going to leak where the water is at the nut when it's tightened up. So put a little bit on. So here we are, we're on the inside of the barrel, and I'm putting on the washer. Well, it's a gasket really. Mrs. Rover's on the other side, and she's just keeping the tap from turning. Okay, so we're seated now. Oh. There we go. Okay, we're well seated. Next step is to put this ring on. Okay, at this point I've put the nut on and I've tightened it up hand tight. Okay, so I've got the wrench on, and I'm just going to tighten it up about a quarter turn. That's it. We don't need to over tighten this because it's the compression of the rubber gasket that will keep this from leaking. So that's it. This is now done. So that completes the installation of the tap, and we'll be testing this out because tonight we should get a little bit of rain, and we'll see if anything is coming out from the gasket. And if it is, then we can always tighten it up a bit more, but you don't want to over tighten it. Well, let's install the barrel. So I have the rain barrel here, and I have the downspout. I have to adjust the downspout to a height that'll help us. So I need to have at least that much. So I'll be making a cut here. In order to do that, I have to remove this. So I've taken the screws off here, and now now we'll go cut this. Now you don't have to worry too much about that not being perfect because this is all inside the elbow. The elbow comes up and covers this. Okay, that's a pretty good fit. So now we'll go reinstall this. Okay, there we go, nice and solid. Now, the rain barrel is actually a little bit like this, and that way when the rain barrel fills up, it'll fill up, it'll overflow over here. That's good, that's the way we want it. No, that's okay. Well, that's it. The project is done, and just in time. The weather forecast was correct. We did get a pretty good rain. The barrels are full. Now I'll finish this off by putting a fine mesh netting over top of the barrels, and that'll prevent birds from falling in. And in addition, I'll attach a hose with a shutoff to the tap itself, so we'll be able to fill up a watering can from below the hill. Well, as always, rovers, thanks for watching.